Ghost Recon Breakpoint has a fairly big issue, and surprisingly, in my opinion, it's not the microtransactions. We all knew those were probably coming, though the way they've been implemented is fairly grotesque. But no, Ghost Recon Breakpoint's big issue is its lack of depth, and any real focus on the features that it provides. On the face of it, you could say it's a looter shooter. You could also say it's a live service game, but you could also say it's a tactical survival game. And unfortunately, trying to combine all those different features just doesn't work. I mentioned it when I reviewed or did a verdict on the closed beta, and the same still stands for the open. In fact, there was no difference between the closed and the open. I was expecting more than just technical changes. Well, I was holding my breath for them, and of course they never came. And there's going to be no difference between what we've seen in both betas compared to the final release. On the one hand, you could say that Ubisoft are being overly ambitious again with this IP. I mean, they massively diverted from what the Ghost Recon name meant with Wildlands. However, I feel like they've actually tried to implement all these different features to get a greater player count, to attract more players, and therefore implement their grotesque microtransactions. Previously to when I actually was looking to record this video in the first place, that wasn't my initial impression. I just thought they were trying to be overly ambitious and just hadn't pulled it off yet again. But now that we've seen these microtransactions, I can't help but feel they play into that aspect of the game. You know, if they went too far into survival genre, not too many people may like that and move away from it. So it is this strange amalgamation of different genres of games, different game features and mechanics that don't really play into each other very well. But aside from that mismatch of features and genres and whatever, there are other issues with the game from a technical standpoint. The performance is okay, the graphics are not too bad, but the AI in the game is utterly atrocious. It's really, really bad. In the closed beta, I didn't think it was too bad. You could get fairly close to enemies, but they would spot you and they would react in a suitable manner. They would shoot on sight, they would look for cover, they would try and outflank you, etc. But for some reason, the open beta, I seem to be able to get really close to enemy AI without them reacting whatsoever. I don't know if they've changed anything, if there's been a rebalance, but whatever they've done is a massive backstep in my opinion, and I'm hoping it gets fixed before launch. Actually, no, I don't really care because I'm actually going to buy the game, but you know, for the people that do, I hope that sort of thing gets fixed because it's terrible. In this day and age, you should not have to experience that sort of thing in games. There are so many games out there that have got the AI right, and I don't understand why developers of games cannot look to others for an example. They seem to pick up on the things that have generated cash rather than the things that have made the game good, in my opinion. And going back to depth, there is no depth for the characters that you see in this game. There is no deep, gory, really interesting, gritty backstories. They're just generic characters on the face of it. Even the main characters do not seem to have an intriguing backstory. The main protagonist and the main villain, yes, we're going to see that in cutscenes, but Ubisoft is terrible, really, really terrible at cutscenes. And it's just not going to give you that story that I feel the game deserves. I kind of like the story. Yes, it's very generic and very cliche, but I think it has something there that could be quite interesting. But I just don't think the storytelling is going to be deep enough. And after seeing the other features and the lack of depth in those, I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that point. No, Ghost Recon is just a very shallow attempt at extending the life of the Ghost Recon IP, which is a shame. That IP was really going places, especially I think it was Ghost Recon Patriots that got cancelled. That game looked fantastic, but no, we're stuck where we are, and unfortunately it's not a great place. And it's strange because Ubisoft have done some really great things in the past, but then marred them with others. It's a strange place for them to be in. For example, For Honor wasn't great when it came out, but they've done a good job in creating a live service for that game. The same with Rainbow Six Siege. That massively deviated from what a Rainbow Six game is, but they've made a decent live service out of it. And I feel that they're trying to bring Ghost Recon into that area as well, and also create a couple of other things with it, and it's just not paying off and it's not working very well. But to close this verdict out, the only good thing going for Ghost Recon at this point in time is its gunplay. I still can't fault it on gunplay. The guns feel really great in the hand, the feedback feels great, and I do enjoy the small little combat situations you can get into. I think it does present those well, but it just lacks depth. That is, I've said depth a lot in this video because I can't think of another word for it right now, but it's a very shallow game. But that's it, that is the final verdict. So I will not be purchasing the game, so I'm going to base my verdict completely and solely off the betas, which in some cases are unadvisable, but knowing Ubisoft, I think it's going to be pretty on point. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, obviously leave your impressions of the game down in the comments below, because obviously I will read them, and I'll see you in the next one. I am now off to watch Jim's video and just find out how bad these microtransactions actually are. And I suggest you do the same, but you've probably already done that already. Yeah.